lesson tonight. I'm entitling this one, "The C-hip is crucial." The C-hip is crucial for the future. Right? So, first and foremost, let's get into it. All praises and honor to Halalyam, La, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barak, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this 144% doctrine. Shalawam to the fellow laborers out there, Ahtham, pushing this 100% doctrine. Shalawam to the sincere sisters out there, Ahtham, out there, maintaining themselves, playing their role in the background. All right, Shalawam, Yasharahla. It is your brother Yaram Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit and power of our Father and our King, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, as well as the Holy Spirit, the Wakakadash. All right, so those are the names that we are coming in. That's the Paleo Hebrew. This is the names that we are coming in. All right, baptizing brothers via the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Wakakadash. Okay, so tonight we're going to get into C-hip. So they've been having their meetings over there in Davos, Switzerland, right? The highest point on the so-called planet, I believe, or whatever they perceive. Also over there they have CERN, right? Trying to open portals to bring in, so-called, demons and stuff like that. So just a whole lot of wickedness going on over there in Davos. They've been having their meetings, and they had one conversation that was talking about the war for the chips. Okay, C-hips. Make sure I say that this video. So we're gonna go into the C-hip Act of 2022 and how it's relevant today, and how a lot of it is being carried out, and the effects of it is being carried out, things along that nature. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this video right here, let it go for a little bit, and then we'll speak on it. I'll bring this down. Just a good view right there.
With the chip industry.
Let's bring this back. And just so I don't, fair use YouTube, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit just so it'll be straight.
No questions on Chairman Powell. No questions on Chairman Powell at all. Talk to me about deglobalization. How compatible is deglobalization with the chip industry in its modern form?
Well, ever since we started this journey of bringing the U.S. chips and the EU Chips Act to place, it was all about building resilient supply chains. And we said for something so critical, and I ask all the time, what aspect of your life is not becoming more digital? Well, everything is, and everything digital runs on semiconductors. And through COVID, we saw the fragility of our supply chains. We're one port, one island, and because of that, we said we need a balanced supply chain for the world, and that's what we're off to do, is to rebuild the Americas and the European supply chain for semiconductors. So hey, we're all better off, right? We have better jobs, we have better national security, better economic, and we're ready for a turbulent world. And with 2 wars active today, and different countries, and different political and geopolitical concerns, this is critical for the future.
Let's talk about the CHIPS Act. Can you just walk our audience through, particularly the audience outside of the United States, what that is, how big it is, and whether you've actually received anything from it yet?
Yeah, so the CHIPS Act, $52 billion. Some of that was capital offset. Some of that was...
Boom. That CHIPS, C-hip. Slocky, that C-hip Act, all right? So what he's talking about, let's go over here. Yeah, this one goes into it a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna get, I had a document pulled up. Yeah, this one. All right, the C-hip Act of 2022. Okay, this was passed and this was planned to run it would start to run around 2023 and it would run for 5 years, and it would give funding for semiconductors. As you can see, semiconductors. These are nothing more than micro CHIPs. You have a lot of semiconductor companies out there, which I'm going to go over a couple of them later on in the live, that will be pushing this CHIP thing. So as you can see with the juice, right? You had Johnson & Johnson, you had Moderna, you had Pfizer, you had, whatever, a lot of companies pushing it, okay? With the CHIP, you're going to have more than 3 companies pushing this thing, okay? This thing is going to be massive on a global scale, right? So, as he said, $52 billion was put into this thing, right? And I'm going to go down, get some numbers. I read this one right here. CHIPs for American Fund, DOC manufacturing incentives, $39 billion in financial assistance to build, expand, or modernize domestic facilities and equipment for semiconductor fabrication, assembly, testing, advanced packaging, research and development, including $2 billion specifically for mature semiconductors. Within the incentive program, up to $6 billion may be used for the cost of direct loans and loan guarantees, etc., etc. All right. Then you got $11 billion for research and development. All right. You having a total of $52 billion put into what? Financing CHIPs, financing the development of micro CHIPs. All right, this beats, because they know, as the dude said in the interview, if we go back, he said that everything you're doing today, man, it's all digital, right? So as this world so-called goes on, as their wicked kingdom goes on, Esau's wicked kingdom goes on, they're funding it. They're moving on the lines of everything being digital. For everything to be digital, you need more what? You need more semiconductors, CHIPs. Right? Because these things, they don't just go, they're not just going to go on your right hand and your forehead, right? That's that charagma, of course. But they use these things, they go on your refrigerators, they go on your phones, right? You got a semiconductor in that. Laptops, okay? Cars, right? During the pandemic, it was a loss on automobile production because of semiconductors. They couldn't get enough chips to produce these cars, right? So if you go into it deeply, the CHIP just in general is an economic booster, right? And I want to get the definition of a CHIP, a semiconductor, because a semiconductor is nothing more than CHIP. Okay, let's read this. Zoom in a little bit. A semiconductor is a material that has an electrical conductivity value falling between that of a conductor such as copper and an insulator such as glass. Its resistivity generally falls as its temperature rises. Metals behave in the opposite way. And they give you a visual of it, right? This is what you know to be what? The RFID. This is it. This is your CHIP. Right? So and go back to just break it down, even make it plain upon tables. Talking about the CHIP Act of 2022 again. Who is getting money from CHIP Act of 2022? The International Technology Security and Innovation Fund, ITS. Appropriated under the CHIPS Act of 2022 provides the Department of State with $100 million per over 5 years starting in fiscal year 2023. So, they're getting some money, and like I said, it's $52 billion in total. Now, these are going to what? Several companies that are producing semiconductors. So this money to produce C-HIPs is being spread around. That's why they over here in Davos talking about Intel CEO says C-HIPs Act is critical for the future. This C-HIP Act of 2022 is critical for the future, right? Let's let him talk some more, and then we'll go into it some more. And I know, a lot of this may be a little boring, but hey, it is what it is. We're going to get some scriptures after get a little bit of more of this. Because, man, they trying to carry out their plan. It is what it is.
Term R&D, and it was paralleled by the EU Chips Act, right? It was about 45 billion euros, so very similar constructs. And what it was saying, we never voted to get rid of this industry, this critical industry for the future, but Asian economies voted to get it. And as a result, we're no longer competitive in US and in Europe. So let's create a leveling, and long-term incentives to invest in this industry. And that's what the Chips Act is doing. And,
So as he explained, Taiwan, right, is the #1 leader and C-HIP productivity. Okay, so Taiwan is the #1. US and the EU, right? They wasn't doing this. That's why they needed that act of 2022. That's why they came through with that act to get back on the ball. I failing to understand that they needed this to try to win this. Now, Taiwan is the #1. And it's funny, though. China is the #1 importer. Okay? Where did I get that at? I'll just read this off. The global semiconductor industry is dominated by companies from the US, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, and the Netherlands. Okay? Dang, what the freak? Did not want to bring that up. All right, Salakia. Okay. No industry matters more to Taiwan than C-HIP making. They are the C-HIPs that power everything from mobile phones to electric cars. And they make up 15% of Taiwan's GDP. Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's man, I like that. Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's semiconductors and over 90% of the most advanced ones. So you got China trying to do what? As this dude, let's let this dude talk, and we're gonna visit this video later on, but I'm gonna let him say this.
China will invade Taiwan, and it will happen sooner than you think.
All right, and this is a good video. China will invade Taiwan, parentheses, be prepared. I suggest brothers go watch this video. I'll put it in the comments, right? Because, hey, most likely it's going to happen this year. All right, they've been building up their forces. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna just do a whole separate lesson on this video in itself later on this weekend. All right. So let's get I want to go back to actually let's go and talk about that C-HIP Act of 22. So the C-HIP Act, what it means for the semiconductor ecosystem. Okay, everybody else around the world that's producing C-HIPs. Now, the main thing about the U.S., they did this to what? In an economic sense, to combat China. What did it say? Let's read these 3 things off. These 3 bullets. It's a summary of the whole article. To make the most of C-HIP's Act, semiconductor companies should reassess global strategy while also planning for grant pursuit, digital transformation, capital, project management, and financial planning. You have to basically go along the lines of the beast, of the whore, to get this money, right? So this is nothing more than a 501(c)(3) for semiconductor companies. Funding recipients are prohibited. That means you can't do it. From expanding semiconductor manufacturing in China or any countries that pose a threat to U.S. national security. These subsides could offer a cushion for semiconductor companies to upskill and diversify their workforce, because you're getting paid millions, if not billions, okay, to make C-hips. All right. As the whole act right here is right here. The whole act right here, section by section summary, breaks down where all the money is going. All right. They even got one part on here. It's got where is it at? Yeah, 200 million to kickstart development of the domestic semiconductor workforce. So they got 200 million just to pay people, right? Which faces near-term labor shortages by leveraging activities of the National Science Foundation. All right. So they want to get it. They want to get the ball rolling. That's how you got. You know what's been major lately? Cybersecurity. These things right there, you always see them cybersecurity ads, things along that line. It's all related to the C-hip. It's all related to this digital structure which is being presented. All right. And then right here, this is an article. You got 24 semiconductor companies you should know. And you can go through all these companies and it tells you what they produce. And understand, at the time of this, man, all these companies, Apple, of course, being one, all right, all these companies are producing C-hips, regardless what they go in, regardless whether it be phones, laptops, refrigerators, cars, regardless, right? All of these companies, through the C-hip Act of 2022, will have the capability to produce micro C-hips, right? This America, Babylon, has to combat China, because China is what? About to take over Taiwan. And I will go into that in a later video. They're about to take over Taiwan. And when they do that, they're going to have what? We go back to the article. Taiwan, okay, they are the C-hips that power everything from mobile phones, electric cars, and they make up 15% of Taiwan's GDP. Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's semiconductors and over 90% of the most advanced ones. So when China takes over Taiwan, what are they going to do? They're going to produce over 60% of the world's C-hips and over 90% of the most advanced ones. When China gets that, it's over for the whore. You're not going to be able to even, because you're importing. Yeah, you make certain things over here. But still, Taiwan is producing over 60%. Over 60%. How China and Babylon is really at a standstill because the import and the export. And if we go down here, in the first quarter of 2023, China was the world's top exporter of semiconductors, shipping out 49.4 billion. Oh, Salaki, I said they was importers. I had got that wrong. All right. They're a major exporter, shipping out 49.4 billion, down 9.7% from the same period in 2022, followed by Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea. All right, so these Moabite countries, Moab and Ammon countries, are producing hella, C-hips, man. All right, the U.S. was only 6th in global export rankings, selling 12.9 billion worth, down to 14.1%. All right. And this stuff is just important to because it's economically, it's all important. All right, I'm going to let them go some more, then we're going to get some scriptures and we're going to wrap it up.
set up their department. DG Comp for the EU Commission is now underway, and we have projects in the U.S. and projects.
Shalawam, Shalawam. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Barak.
Stages, right? And as I say, boy, I'm ready. I'm building factories today. Let's go.
Can you quantify, though, to John's point, how much Intel is receiving from the CHIPS Act? Can you quantify how much cheaper it really would make manufacturing in the U.S. for you?
Well, what we said is, and industry analysis like the Semiconductor Industry Association of the U.S., similar studies done by BCG and others have said it's 30 to 40% cheaper to build in Asia, right? Because taxes, tariffs, incentives, labor, the supply chains, and the CHIPS Act is designed to close that gap. So if you're building a $20 billion facility, you're 30 to 40% uncompetitive without some of these economic capabilities being put in place. And that's what the U.S. and European CHIPS Act are doing, bringing those so that when we make enormous, and these facilities, the one we're doing in Germany, is well over 30 billion euros. This is huge, and I can't be uncompetitive to that degree and expect to compete in the world market effectively.
There's a question when you talk about supply chains of the foundry that you're building and who's going to be building their chips with you, right? It's not just about your chips anymore. Have you had any real conversations with the Amazons of the world, with the Apples of the world, with NVIDIA about manufacturing some of their chips?
Yeah, we've had lots of conversations with them, and we've started to close design wins with different ones. And for the most part, it's not the industry practice for them to say their name because they already have relationships with others in that regard, and they somewhat view it as competitive intelligence as well. But as we've announced, we now have 3 major foundry customers for our most advanced process technology. We've now announced multiple advanced.
At the end of the day, Esau, you losing. You losing to Moab. You losing to Ammon. You losing to these Moabite, Ammonite countries that are producing far more C-hips than you. Okay? And when China takes over Taiwan, it's over in that race. All right? Because China is already the #1 exporter, as we read and discovered, right? So and then Taiwan's #2. So when China takes over Taiwan, that they're gonna be basically upgraded by twice the amount that they were producing. So therefore, all the electronics and everything they're producing is gonna double, right? Understand that these C-hips go into military equipment as well. Rockets, nukes. You need C-hips, semiconductors to go into nukes. When Yahawah said, man, no arrow will miss his mark, it's not going to come back in vain. These are what these things talking about. Okay? The semiconductors that are being programmed via Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, giving the smith the skill to produce these types of things. All right, so let's get some scriptures. Job 5:12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Babylon is falling behind in this race. Moab is leading. Taiwan is leading. Okay? They will be the highest producer of the nukes, and them dealing with Russia, and them also dealing with North Korea, also dealing with the Hamite nations, right? What's mine is yours. They're going to be sharing. Everybody in that BRICS nation, okay? Everybody in that BRICS nation conglomerate is going to be dealing with one another. Oh, you need some chip. You need some C-hips for your nukes. I got you. Here you go. You need some nukes. I got you. Here you go. Russia is funding some Hamite nations and giving them nukes, man. The weak will be strong. It's all scripture. It's all prophecy. When it's coming down at the end of the day. All right? So, what will Yahweh do? He know the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Esau, Edom is being stopped. You're being blocked. You will be held back. All right? Let's go get Revelations 12. I was looking at Revelations 12, and I want to start at 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accursed them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, Yahawashi, and by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto the death. Brothers and sisters, we can't even been in the mindset to even thinking about taking a damn C-hip. All right? When it's going to be prevalent. When it's going to be everywhere. We know this has to pass before the nukes can rain down. Okay? So, yeah, Esau Edom is going to be given power to do certain things. But, hey, what is that known as? The hour of temptation. What are you going to do in that point in time? Are you going to resist? Are you going to give in because of fear? Because of unbelief? All right? Therefore, 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the seal, for the devil, Satan, Esau Edom, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. It was I was watching a video the other day, and the Secretary of Defense, you know, those guys in the White House, was talking about they doing simulations, you know, military powers in the U.S., talking about every time they do a simulation of war against China, right, they lose. And they lose badly every single time. They cannot mess with them. Yeah, they may have, you know, more aircraft carriers. That doesn't matter. China has more men, more ships. Okay? Overall, China is more set up for war. More allies that have more ammunition. Okay? You can't fight it out with them. It's not going to work. Especially if it's boots on ground. Especially if it's boots on ground. We don't even have people wanting to join our military. And I mean, there. Because I'm not, you know, we're not of this wicked ass nation. Okay? Babylon, the whore, is falling. Nobody wants to join her. Alright? It's over for her. Alright? So, in China, they're in that, China, Russia, North Korea, all of them over there. They're in that rise up spirit. They're in that, hey, we taking back what's our spirit. Kim Jong-un just said today that, you know, he's tearing down a unification statue that his father built for South Korea and North Korea to be unified. And he's vowing to take out South Korea and take back the land and reunite Korea to make it one again. Right? That's the spirit he's in. The spirit Russia is in is to take back Ukraine, to reunite the motherland, to take back the lands that was took from them. That's the spirit that they're in, that old Soviet Union spirit. Okay? The spirit that China's in is to take back Taiwan, because that used to belong to them back in the day. That's the spirit they're in. U.S. is in a bitch-made spirit. The whore is an effeminate ass spirit. This kingdom will fall. Why the fuck is you messing with real men? Alright? Babylon, this big bitch is gonna fall. Alright? It's over for her. You know nothing, Esau Edom. You know nothing. You got the dust of the earth, man. Alright? Let's keep going. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. That's Yasharahla. And the man-child is Yahawashi. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. That's salvation. Alright, the chariots. Brothers being saved and protected in this time, man. Alright? Brothers being saved and protected. As scripture says, right after the tribulation. Right after Jacob's trouble. And the serpent cast out of her mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahawah, and have the testimony of Yahawashi HaMashiach. That was the qualifications. You got to keep the commandments of Yahawah and keep that faith, the testimony of Yahawashi. Believe If you don't believe, you're not going to make it. You're going to fall victim to Revelations 13. Let's read this, and I'm going to get up out of here. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he have that mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay? Look at the where they at? Where they at? Let me get that. No, not this dude. WEF. Right? And the elder was breaking this down the other day. Right? Elder Ramla was breaking this down the other day. World Economic Forum. You got a line going through the O, the O, the O. That's what the 15th number of the alphabet. I mean, the 15th letter, I believe. 1 plus 5 is 6. 666, right? You push that together. Right? It's strategically placed, strategically drawn up to look like that, to do that. O, right? So, you know, they're not smart, man. All right? Anybody can figure this out. You guys are off. You guys are wicked. All right? We know that. We know how y'all come through and push and all of that. You know, all your little logos, we see it. We not stupid. All right? But let's read that 16 again. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All but the saints. All but those that have the truth. All but those that worship Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You're not worshiping Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi if you take that mark. You truly never had no faith. You say you in this truth, but you out here taking a mark, or you out here taking government money, Bishop Nathaniel. You out here taking government money, Sakari, ISUPK, whoever it be. You out here taking government money, 501(c)(3). Okay? Just like they giving ultimatums with this CHIP Act of 2022 to telling you that you can't deal with China, you can't deal with other countries that they deem as a threat to receive this government-funded money. That's the same way those 501(c)(3)s go out. You can't teach the truth. You got to teach Most High Christ blessed. You can't teach Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You can't teach laws and commandments. You can't teach faith in Yahawashi. You got to teach Most High Christ blessed. You a sellout. All right? You might as well go back into the world. Actually, you are in the world. Selling out for money. And whoever does that, you selling out. All right? You bitch made at the end of the day. All right? And with that being said, man, hey, all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. Shalawam to the sincere laborers out there. Ahtham on these highways and byways. Also this net pushing this 100% truth. Shalawam to the sincere Ahtham out there, right, playing their position correctly. Shalawam. Hope this has been an edifying lesson. As always, Kwam Yasharahla, Abba, Babal.